Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Friday night's Talking Town, the final look ahead to QPR, the unofficial start to the weekend. I'm, of course, your host, the Gov, looking forward to the next half an hour or so of ITFC chat and debate. Before we go any further, if you're brand new here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. In fact, if you're new or not new here, hit the like button, please. We'll set a like target. We'll go low as it's Friday night. We've got 100 likes, so hit the like button and subscribe to Talking Town, the fan platform for fans by fans. And Ailey Croucher has been a member for 14 months, YouTube tells me. Ailey, you are a legend in every sense of the word. So good evening, everyone. Looking forward to another away day with the Blue Army at QPR. Come on, you Blues. Paul Smith is going for a 1-0 Town win. Phil was offered the job. Congratulations, Phil. I'm very, very happy for you. Well done. Good luck in whatever you're doing next. And he just says, hit that like button. Lots of you in the chat are going to QPR tomorrow. Enjoy your trip. Have a safe one. Have a good one. And bring back 3 points. Let's get cracking. Joining me tonight is the man from Essex, Matthew Phillips. Matthew, how are you, sir?
Good, thanks. Should we tell everyone we've just been playing Guess Martin's birthday?
We have. We have just been
Sorry,
guessing.
it was a little bit late. Yeah,
it is. Oh, Mike D, member for 19 months. Mike D is, if A's a legend, then Mike is, the thing is a mythical beast that you read about in these myths and legend tales. He is the oracle. Welcome, Mike. Thanks for being a member for 19 months.
Can anyone beat 19 months?
This is it.
Can anyone beat 19 months?
Can anyone beat 19 months? This is it. Yes. When is my birthday? Let me know in the chat. Matt has a very significant birthday coming up. We won't say how old and we won't say when, but although we can if you like. I mean, I was just being coy there for the sake of being coy. Sunday. Do you want to say how significant? You're 70, aren't you?
40.
No one's going to believe that.
50.
50.
That's why I'm wearing a hat. Cover the grey hairs.
50. Congratulations. Well done. 50 and not, well, get to 50, but 50 and not out. 21st says Mike D. He's going for the flattery get your every approach, which is a bold approach with Matt's age. But there we go. Phil Blundell, of course, want to be told that the start date has been pushed back sometime later next. But Phil, you got it. Phil got a job. Matt, congratulations to Phil in the chat,
fantastic.
right?
Well done, Phil. Don't worry about starting later. Feet up.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, enjoy the moment, as it were, before you get really, really busy. I'd love to know what he's doing. So if you do want to let us know, Phil, let us know in the chat. Obviously, Town heading to QPR this weekend, Mr. Phillips. And on our social media, we have the legend that started his Town career at QPR, doing our match preview for the season, Darren Curry. So if you've not yet seen that, head to our social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
I think I was at the game where he made his debut at Loftus Road. We won 4-2, I think. Coochie did the old big swallow dive in front of me. I was on the front row.
Were you?
That's where they put the ultras back in the day. So you went on the front row, so I was there.
I mean, it's not far out of Essex, but you actually ventured out of Essex.
Yes. Train, then you go Central Line down to White City, is it? Can't remember.
I don't. The only time I've been to Loftus Road, it was my first ever away day, and it was 0-0 in the blazing August sun. If you can tell me what year that was, you or anybody else, a gov point to yourselves.
That's got to be early 2000s, surely.
Oh, it's. I'm not gonna say what if that's in the ballpark or not. We'll find out from the chat. Kieran's got a birthday tomorrow. Kieran Baines, happy birthday for tomorrow. 29. Hopefully, he'll get 3 points for his birthday.
Lovely.
It is, isn't it? But on the preview, and what I like about the
birthday. That birthday is the same as De Niro's. Was it De Niro's yesterday? Very close to De Niro's birthday. That.
Very close. Yeah. First of all, Darren always refers to Ipswich as us and we, which I absolutely love. I did message him and say, Darren, I absolutely love that. And he says, once a tractor boy, always a tractor boy. But he said the midfield engine room is going to be key tomorrow for Town taking over. And just wondering if you, as the ultra that you are, Matthew Phillips, agreed with that sentiment from a legend.
Yeah, And of course, Luongo's going back to his old club. I think he was QPR, wasn't he?
Yeah, and Don Ball. Disco
and Don
Dom.
Ball. Disco Dom, yeah. Oh, yeah, I think whatever our midfield pairing is going to be tomorrow and throughout every game, because it's such high stakes for every match, I think, it's going to dominate. We've spoken about why Luton did so well last season. When I was speaking to my family members who are going and support Luton, and said their midfield, people just couldn't cope with their midfield, the energy of it box to box. So hopefully we can get that from our own two in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing if QPR go with Andre Dezelle in midfield, and if they do, how our two match up against Dezelle and his counterpart.
Bully him.
Well, yeah. We did have Clive from Loft for Words on Wednesday's show. If you've not yet seen that, jump back to Wednesdays and take a look. We've got a correct guess in the chat. Kevin Gates, August 1998.
Kev's been on the internet, I reckon. He's Googled that. Google Gates.
He might well have been. But it was.
You would have been 9?
Yes. And all I remember from a boring 0-0 was me mum getting heat stroke because it was that hot. Yeah, it was that hot. And the back of people's heads because I couldn't see a thing, even standing on the chairs.
That sounds like my experience now, actually.
So I've not been back to Loftus Road since. Funny that, but I hear it's not changed a great deal.
Funny little ground. Everyone always used to say it was like a Sabutio ground. Very upright stands and very compact. And they used to have a fan called Grandad, wore a big sombrero. I don't know if he's still doing the rounds.
Is he the same one that did the England song? Oh, we got a corner.
Don't know.
We got a corner. Meat pie, sausage roll. Come on, England, give us a go. He was
I've
called
never heard
Grandad.
that. Well, we have debated earlier today that Martin's got terrible taste in music.
Which is ironic.
This has just illustrated it.
Well, it's ironic that because obviously Richard must come with us tonight because he's seeing Ollie Murs and Matt's not a fan, whereas I'm a bit partial to Ollie Murs, dear darling. But you say I've got terrible taste in music, but one of my favourite tracks is one that you've created. So
I'll allow you that. Ollie's from round here. He's from Witham, which is about 10 minutes away.
But we don't hold that against him, Matt.
I've met him. He's a very nice chap. It's just music I wouldn't listen to. That's all.
No. It's not. It's too quick for you. It's not somber enough. It's not slow enough. It's not.
You wild rock and rollers.
I just want to say a big shout out to Adi Croucher, who last week did a fantastic thing and walking to the ground in aid of the foundation. Congratulations, Adi. I hope your feet are not too cut to shreds. Wow. Another ultra on Life's a Pitch crowd because Richard Chandler, but Adi was also on the chat in the crowd. That's where I'm getting myself confused. Richard Chandler did the walk.
Rich done the walk.
Rich done the walk. Adi and Rich have both been in the crowd. That's where I got myself confused. I was looking at the chat.
The ground as usual.
Yes, Adi just cruised on through. He just cruised on through. But it's Richard Chandler whose feet is probably in absolute bits. What's the furthest you've ever walked?
God, don't know. Oh, not far. A few miles.
Yeah.
The missus has done that the Moon Marathon where you walk around London, 26 miles. She's done that.
Okay.
But no, I've not done anything like that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that because I was in just after lockdown. You had all the balloons and the welcome party, and
that's right. Yeah. Oh no, that was her running. She's done the
that was her running
as well.
Sorry,
she's done both.
My bad.
Yeah.
Mike Baker, our midfield would be too strong for young Dezelle. If he's playing, the physicality of the game was never his strong point.
Yeah,
a few miles is a long way for Matt, says Mike D.
Well, exactly.
Colin's done a marathon on his bike. Yeah, that's true. Colin's done a marathon on his bike, and that's just every morning while he's on the phone to Rich.
Yeah, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, 6 a.m. How you guys get time for all these phone calls, I don't know. Talking of phone calls, McKenna saying he expects movement in and out, but nothing imminent.
Do the gag you did earlier.
Has he tried Movacol?
Good gag. Good joke. Likes it.
Wasn't bad for me, was it? Wasn't bad.
Where do you stand on the old? If we're ITK, we damaged the club. Where do you stand on that?
I'm the guy. I'm impartial. I can't have an opinion on anything on anybody.
I tell you where I'll stand on it. I think
you tell me where you stand on it. Go on, get on your soapbox.
Nonsense. We're a smallish club in world football, out in the country, rural Suffolk, a backwater club they call us. And if we speculate on the internet, if we speculate about players on the internet, it's damaging to the club. Yet we've got half the 0.5% of the social media audience that Real Madrid have got, and they somehow get huge deals over the line with Fabrizio Romano calling them up with his 22 million Instagram followers wanting news. Somehow it doesn't damage them. But it damages us.
Didn't mind it when old Fabrizio was doing your WhatsApp voice message, did he? Here we go, or things like that. But I mean, you've got to have transfers to have your ITK people, really. And there's a lack of transfers. McKenna saying, deals imminent in and out. We are a fan platform that likes to pride itself on giving the fans a voice. And we did have a comment on the show Wednesday, which came from Nigel Price 392. I want to read it word for word, and you can just give me what you think in response. You haven't got to address it point for point. You can go and access this comment on the last show. It is there for you to comment, for debate. That's what this platform is all about. But Nigel says, signing the players you want and the performers you need is incredibly difficult. Mark Ashton looks as though he currently is creating Bristol City Mark II. What's happening is not... it ain't my point of view. I'm just literally doing what the platform is designed.
Bristol City.
I'm literally just doing what the platform's designed to do, giving people the voice. Yes, what's happening is not unique. Mark Ashton at Bristol revolutionised the ground, backroom staff and training environment. He seems to have made some big mistakes with giving out excessively long contracts. Some of the big money signs were flops, 3 players in particular, 2 went on freeze, a third was paid off. Again, this is his point, not mine, not the platform's. I'm just literally bringing his point for you to come back to it, Matt. Why is he hated at City? Did his role and his profile become too big? Has he learned from his role at Bristol? Has the recruitment team improved on what he had before? And that comment is public, viewable. You can go and view it on the last show, debate it, comment it, whatever. There is what he said. This is the platform. Gives the fans a chance to have their say, unfiltered, uncensored. What would you say back to that, other than rude?
Don't compare Bristol City to Ipswich. But chalk and cheese. We've won things. How many years have they done in the top flight? What have they won? Nothing. So he's an infrastructure guy, Ashton. Why do they still hate him anyway? It's been gone over 2 years or whatever it might be. Don't get that. But he's an infrastructure guy, isn't he? Now you've seen. Now I've not been to the stadium yet, and you all said it was great going to the stadium. It was rebooted, refreshed. He's done a great job getting the pitch in. I think to be able to turn that around really quickly probably helped. We finished a little bit early as a League One side last season, but still, to be able to actually execute that from we're going to get it to getting it there to getting it ready for the Stoke game, the Bristol Rovers game, marvelous. So he's an infrastructure guy, but I mean, look, he did good deals for Bristol City. Adam Webster going there for one.
Yeah.
Great deal.
He had our previous owners down on that one, didn't he? That was a great bit of business for at the time for both clubs, to be fair. But certainly in terms of what they bought him for and then sold him on for.
I mean, look, he is instrumental to him, and McKenna are instrumental to what's going on at Ipswich at the moment. Supported financially via Game Changer, Brett, all the crew there. That's brilliant. Correct. Fantastic. And, he has got the deals over the line. Jack Taylor, George Hurst, Broadhead back in January. So brilliant. But I still think the speculation damages the club is a load of nonsense. And I'd imagine it's because he doesn't want our business being spoken about by fans. But if we do get promoted into the Premier League, get used to it, because suddenly you have an athletic reporter. You'll be on Sky Sports News. Remember, even when we weren't even the Premier League under Keane, Sky Sports News had a camera there every week because of the sound bites. And, that will just ramp up international media, international broadcast. That will just ramp up. So get used to it. If that's the promised land, get used to it, because that's what happens every day, 24/7. Speculation.
No, good points there. I'll come back on a couple of them. First of all, the speculation in terms of this is what, the 5th, 6th best league in the world, if not possibly higher. Most clubs have got their own dedicated beat journalists, athletic journalists in some respects.
Yeah.
It's naive to think you can keep the deals quiet, because like Cathcart, for example, I think that originally came from the Athletics Watford journalist as a sort of a throwaway link, if I remember correctly, maybe in its own little article. But you're in a too higher profile league now. You're not amongst clubs.
The dead men.
There you go. Thank you very much. You're not amongst those clubs anymore where it can be all very, hush hush. And are you? and I'm just putting across a different opinion, not my own, but a different one.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Keeping it on the old balance. Are you not just driving the price up though, like by being like the speculation on social media? So, but then the other side of that argument is, our side's really that quiet, naive, blind, ignorant, whatever, that they don't know a deal's going on until, you know, Joe blogs 3244567 with 12 followers tweets, seen Jack Taylor at the canteen or whatever.
Yeah. Just saw him down Asda's getting a meal deal. Yeah. I mean, look, in League One, we were the big fish, weren't we? We ruled the roost a little bit. All right, we came second. Plymouth deservedly won the title with us, but we were like loads of money. Harry Enfield, loads of money at the camera, right? That, you know, and we did that in order to bring in high quality players that we've now been able to get over the line in terms of you know, Broadhead and Hurst and now Taylor
eventually.
But now we're amongst our kin a little bit. Now we've reached our natural status, I think, which is probably, you know, a championship club pushing. As James Scowcroft said, Ipswich, when they're in the championship, should always be pushing the top 6, and that's hopefully what we're going to do this year. But I feel like that's probably our place in English football at the moment,
Okay.
And historically has been. All right, last few years, decade, whatever, Evans kind of slipped away, but before then we were competitive, and I just feel like we're now in the market with a lot of other clubs to sign players, and people do know we've got money, and I think McKenna even said it in the press conference. You know, we're not going to play over the odds for the players, and it's a small pool of players because we want good characters, worth the money, bring value. Everyone wants that. If you're pushing for the Premier League, everyone in and around us is going to want that.
So there's Nigel's comment. You can go and debate it on the match preview comment page, which is on YouTube. Just go to the last video. It's there. You can put your comments and start that debate, which is what Talking Town is all about. We've had our little, well, you've had your little say on it. Richard Chandler, I think one thing is nonsense, and I am with Richard here, because when it came to my attention, I was like, hold up. We won't allow first 2 games to be away at QPR, but QPR got away with it, because Saturday, when beat them, it's their first home game of the league season.
And they lost in the week in the Carabao there, didn't they?
So what we would say is obviously Watford agreed to change, but I'm pretty sure
Sunderland did not. Well, yeah,
Stoke, it'd be Stoke, wouldn't it?
Yes,
but I'm pretty sure Stoke would have agreed, but their pitch was ready in time. But
well, they should have done. They got schooled.
They got schooled. They really did. They really did.
They made a mistake.
You have to say about the ITK stuff and the transfer stuff. You can put a little bit of element of lemon juice into the water, right? Because things are going really well. Things are going really well at the moment. Yeah. Things are going really well, and it's almost if we've got to find something to moan about, we're going to have to find something to moan about. Because on the 11, where would a new transfer step in? Where are you looking? Where were you desperately searching in the market for?
It's a very good point. I mean, look, you look back, we can only go on our last game, right? Stoke, where we were magnificent, really good. Now, it would be harsh to get a defender in and go, right, Burgess onto the bench. And I've been critical of Burgess in the past, but he's, you know, that final third of last season into this season, playing very well.
Yeah.
Playing very well. So it'd be harsh for him to move aside. Are you looking at competition for Burns? If so, you're signing someone who's going to maybe start on the bench, or you could argue that might be a Marvy Hutchinson or whatever. Probably need another striker. But again, as you always say, Martin, when you play one up front, which is what Town do, I think Hurst is probably nailed on with Ladapo second, and you're playing third fiddle. Maybe Caden's in there now after his great goal last weekend. So difficult one. The worry I've got, and we've mentioned it a few times, of course, is the depth. Because once you're taking Broadhead out, you got Harness coming in. And I think a lot of the Talking Town community seem to think that would be a step below, even though I like Harness. I thought he was very good in League One till he got injured. I thought he was doing very well and was always the first name on my team sheet. But for Broadhead to get injured and him suddenly to fill in, then you go, oh God, I'm not too certain about that. And then you might have an injury to Wolfie or Burgess. Then you're thinking, Don Ball's going to be in there. McKenna referenced it in his presser. Oh, we've got Don Ball can slot in. And then you're thinking, well, you know, he's suddenly turning into Freddie Sears or Mickey Stockwell. He's not becoming a utility man, isn't he? He can play midfield, he can play defence, he plays right back in pre-season. You know, so suddenly you put in square pegs in round holes, and that's a little bit of a worry. But no one wants to come in and be second fiddle at Ipswich when you can go and be, I don't know, a starter at Plymouth or wherever it might be.
Yeah, other clubs, Bristol City maybe. We've got that's the thing, isn't it? Bring players in, club set them if they walk into the team. But yeah, so there's Nigel's comment. That's us sort of coming back to it. I do want to try and get more of that throughout the year. You know, really handing the power over to you, as it were, at home to have your say totally unfiltered. Whether that's the live chat, live link, or if you're watching on catch up, leave the comments. We're keen to get those comments, and we'll use them. We'll debate with them. We'll bring them up. This really is the fan platform for fans by fans. And if you want to support us, you can do so. Links in the chat. Scan the QR code, $4.99 a month. Cancel anytime. I mean, it's just epic value. Epic value. Because things like this don't make themselves. Nathan Broadhead's stats so far this year.
Did you do this?
I did. Stats from SofaScore. This is an average of 8.10, total played 2, touches 36.5, accurate passes 80%, key passes 2.5, shots per game 3, shots on target per game 1.5, assists 1, possession lost per game 9.5. It's only 2 games, and I've got Leif Davis as well after Nathan brought it, but it's a great start for the needle mover in the Championship, isn't it?
Oh yeah, look at his little face. Look, he's like a choir boy, isn't he? Walking in the air.
But accurate passes 80%. For the area he plays, I thought was a phenomenal statistic, because
it really is,
normally his passes are thread the needle key passes, George Sunderland. So to have that higher accurate percentage rate for me was just a bit mind blowing, to be fair.
How do they determine a key pass?
Well, this is just accurate passes, but I mean, key passes 2.5. That's like leading to a goal, I guess, or a key chance.
Yeah.
You know,
shots per game 3 shows he's got confidence. He's always had that, though, hasn't he? Since he come in, a little bit like Chaplin. If he sees an opportunity, he's going to have a go.
He is, and we had Chaplin obviously during the week stats. This is Leif Davis's season so far: 7.45, total played 2, touches 54, accurate passes 78, key passes 2 for a left back. Loving that. Shots per game 1.5, tackles per game 3, assists 1, and position lost 15 times. I thought, until I got the stats up, that, you know, say 2 games, that Morsey had more assists than Leif, but I'm absolutely wrong, because Leif's already got an assist. When was that assist?
which? Oh, I tell you what it was. It was when he had the shot against Sunderland. Hit Broadhead and went in. They've given that as the assist, haven't they?
There you go. That's it. Yes, you're right. You're right.
It.
I mean, checked it like 3 times. I was like, okay.
Yeah. When did that happen?
All right.
I mean, look, who would have thought Leif on his debut against Bolton, when he gave that penalty away and looked a bit lethargic, and he'd been in Australia and was all thinking, bloody hell, we've just paid $1.5 million, $2 million for this guy. And then, you know, he just skyrocketed, didn't he? Then, Martin, you saw the potential in his corner taking with all the assists. Great scouting from you. And just brilliant. Just brilliant. I mean, look, would you lock yourself in your bedroom like you did with Matt Holland when he left? Davis was to go. I'd feel a bit gutted if he was to go. I think
Nathan Broadhead did. I would.
Yeah, would you? Yeah. Bit teary.
Yeah. I'd cry buckets. I was nearly crying after Luton when he was sat on the sidelines instead of playing on the field. Like, that was a big worry.
Wrap him in cotton wool.
Yeah.
I mean, these are pivotal players that got promoted, and they've started the season really well, and you just want them to look. The reality is they're not going to play all 46 games. It's just, you know, the season doesn't work like that, does it? But certainly at this level, but we've just got to keep them fit and performing. And, you know, you're seeing the momentum from Sunderland to Stoke. Let's see what it brings tomorrow when we go to QPR. Hopefully not the first 20 minutes we saw at the Stadium of Light. That's all we don't want to say.
HCH, I think Ashton's a Championship operator, a good one for sure, but transfer gossip in the Premier League will find him out with transfers there if he thinks gossip is affecting our business in the Champ. Sega, McKenna's staff are managing the players well. Jack Taylor hasn't walked into the starting 11.
True.
And don't I know it? Due to Luongo and Morsey doing so well in the middle. Chased him for 6 months, Matt. Tried buying him in January. Geezer can't get a game so far.
It's harsh, isn't it? We've chased you for 6 months. We really want you. Come and sign for us. You're not going to play.
The thing is, it's not like he's got, you know, Kevin Foley in midfield. You can see why he ain't playing. But I'm just a big Jack Taylor fan. Like, I'm a Jack Taylor groupie. I think he's a great player. Will be a great player. Want to see him. But it's still 2 games in. We will see Jack gradually introduced. Richard says, bet Wes and Chapper's stats are great from the first 2 games. We did show Chaplin and Burns' stats from the Stoke game on Wednesday's show. I haven't created their season stats so far. Perhaps next week.
Was that our audio only show? Because we did 2 shows, didn't we? We did the audio and then you did a YouTube one.
We did. have to check, wouldn't you?
Look at
Have to go and download both and have a look and listen and find out. You see what comes out there. See what I'm doing there. Sega and my point, new players coming always so interesting is that 11. And we up to those new signs make an impact and provide that competition and depth. Womble says, Mr. Phillips, you always seen from me, but now I can place you, the small boy from the Snowman. Thank you.
There I am. You've spotted me.
Walking in the air. Right. 6 defeats on the bounce at Town at Loftus Road, according to the Renegade Statman.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you, right? No bearing or bearing. Is this another chance for McKenna and his myth-killing machine to slay another myth?
Yeah.
Sky Curse, Sunderland.
Yeah.
Town can't perform in front of big crowds. This is a team that just slays the myths the way Randy Orton was a legend killer. Is it a chance for him to go to Loftus Road? 6 feet on the bounce.
Yeah. I never get all this kind of like this head-to-head. We've not won there since, I don't know, 2003 or whatever it might be. It's a completely different set of players, different manager, different way of thinking. So I always think those stats are really odd. We've had some good results here previously. One I mentioned earlier, the Curry debut, 4-2. Jimmy Jill went there and won his first game there, I think. The 3-1, that was a Friday night on Sky, I seem to recall. Mark Noble played in that game, I think. Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. So we've had
QPR's the game. Was it Simon Walton made his debut for Town in that one?
Oh, he might well have done, actually. Yeah.
Because there was Noble and Walton, wasn't it? The two boys on loan.
That's right. Yeah.
And
blimey, now Noble couldn't get in the West Ham team. Now he's retired.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I thought at the time Simon Walton would have probably had a better career.
What I like about QPR is they used to be sponsored by Guinness back in the 80s.
Really?
So the blue and white shirts at home, the famous ones, then the red and black hoops away. I've never known Guinness to sponsor another football team ever since in like 40 years. Weird. Random one. But
Mark Fish's only game at Loftus Road. Who remembers Mark Fish?
Yeah. Didn't it Joe Fairs from Blue Mondays got his shirt from that game or something?
Probably has. I mean, it wasn't on very long.
No, put no grass stains on it. Didn't have to wash it.
No, it's up there with Ivor and Gamarson's Town career, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Oh, God, yeah. Remember that guy? Now he had a good rep at Reading. Come to us, he goes, I haven't got it anymore. I'm going to retire. I respected that. He could have carried on just earning a salary, couldn't he? You could see the thinking because that other guy was with him, wasn't he, from Reading? Zonko? Yeah.
Zonko,
I liked him.
He was good. I like Zonko. His first moment was his bicycle kick off the line at like Barnsley.
Yeah, that was the 5-3 when we were 2 down or whatever.
Half time in Keith Andrews game, yeah.
Keith Andrews.
Loftus Road was also the debut for the first black kit. Do you remember that?
Yes. Not first. So we'll be in the orange tomorrow then, won't we? So it just dawned on me we'll be in the orange tomorrow. Or could be in the black. Will they roll the black out? Who knows?
It dawned on me about 5 minutes ago, hence the overlay change from the home overlay to the away overlay and the orange. Because we've got home and away overlays this year. So you'll see that on the Match Reaction Show live after the full-time whistle. Join us whether at the ground, on the coach home, or at home with your feet up. We are welcoming people to submit their match reactions via a video using your phone. Just like that.
That's what a phone looks like, everybody.
I meant this way because some people do it this way and it really annoys me.
Oh, right, yeah.
Do it this way.
Like Richie.
Yeah, like Rich. Give us your match reaction. Send it to martin@talkingtown.co.uk and I'll try and get as many as I can, if not on the Match Reaction Show, on the shows on Sunday. And there are 3 shows on a Sunday. Well, I do record 3 shows on a Sunday, 1 audio, 2 live.
So busy.
Yeah. Or join us live with the link. Simple as that. Right. So that was the 6 on the bounce stat. Let's move it swiftly on to...
You've been researching. I'm impressed.
No, I just was on Twitter and saw Renegade Statman tweeted. Hence why I gave him credit, because it's his stat, not mine.
He knows the stats.
Well, it's in the name, isn't it? Renegade Statman.
That's what it says on the tin. Like, what's that bloody stuff? Ron Seal. There's a sponsor for you for the show.
Just came up, and I was like, that'll go quite nicely with the myth killing machine. You know, can McKenna and his boys go and slay another myth? Richard Chandler, Sky Championship games are garbage. Ooh. We've been open on opening weekend, and we're not on until at least to mid-October. But that will quickly change, Rich. If this trajectory carries on after that October, you'll be on every other week, and you'll be saying it's garbage because it's not a 3 p.m. Saturday.
I think next season everyone's going to be on at all sorts of times, aren't they? With the new deal that kicks in. We'll be in the Premier League by then anyway, so we won't have to worry about that.
Kev Hansen, how do you think midfield battle with the Zelgo will go tomorrow?
Well, it's going to be men against boys, surely. Longo Morsey was schooled as hell, I would have thought. Look, he's good at finding a pass, but he needs space on the ball. So if you press him, I think we could. Yeah, but that seems to be the game in the Championship. Everyone pressing each other. That's why we had so much trouble in the Sunderland game. We got pressed, didn't we? And then Stoke started doing it when they made those subs and they had their backs against the wall a little bit. So we've got to press them from the off tomorrow and win that midfield battle, I think.
I really liked Clive's comments on the QPR team, and obviously Andre was mentioned in that on Wednesday's show. So do check it out because he does speak about, and he I think he said something along the lines of Andre's not the people's champion at Shepherd's Bush, and he can go missing, and he can have a one moment of magic and then sort of nothing.
I wonder whether or not, well, we used to say that about him as well, didn't we? Which is why there was so much debate. Oh, he's much better in the Championship, blah, blah, blah. I mean, look, is he really going to be an Ainsworth-style player? I mean, you think physicality, don't you? You'd think Don Ball was more of a Ainsworth-style player than what Dazelle probably.
Which is why he might not play tomorrow. You know, there's that.
Maybe
he was in Clive's expected 11, but it doesn't mean he will.
Doesn't mean he will play now. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I would imagine they want more plays in that kind of the vein of Steve Cook, I think, as you know, from Forest. If you're not listening to the audio show, I'd read something from a Forest fan saying he'd crawled over broken glass for his teammates. I think that's probably more of what Ainsworth is maybe looking for, rather than he's a culture player, Dazelle, isn't he? Could argue a bit of a luxury, maybe, a bit more of a playmaker. That doesn't really seem Ainsworth's game to me. It's the press from the top and maybe hoofing it forward in a kind of a nutshell. That's what we
in a nice way, right? You mean that in the nicest possible way, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, he's all about winning. I mean, he worked at Wickham, didn't he? I mean, bloody hell, he got him promoted. They went from relegation fodder to getting promoted. So I mean, he did something right there.
He's a bit of kryptonite to McKenna. You know, I feel this is no stats. This is not Gov plucking anything out with the stats or anything that he's researched. Like McKenna's last outing against Ainsworth, was he still in charge at the 1-0 defeat?
It was
when Ainsworth said it's like a hotel turning up.
Yeah, it was that. That's right. The entourage, he called it. I've never seen such entourage. So we had 2 buses, we asked for 2 dressing rooms with all the bits and all the analytical.
But you say that, but then McKenna's first game in charge was Wickham, I think, and I think he won that at home. So
yeah,
I contradicted myself in one sentence.
Yeah, it was either that or we went to Gillingham. It was one or the other, wasn't it? They were back to back, I think. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I was at home.
But yeah, it certainly was. That's when they got on the old Burgess out train. Yeah, I blamed him for the goal.
You blame him for everything, even the cost of living. Right.
Is that where he smashed his face against Wickham, was it? And he had to have the mask on after that.
Oh, I don't know.
It might have been that game. I mean, look, fair play to Cameron Burgess for doing that. I mean, bloody hell. To recover from that, play the mask and bounce back.
Absolutely.
Legendary.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, here's my expected lineup for QPR. And to an absolute shock to absolutely nobody, I've gone unchanged. I've officially stopped.
It's still the same as the one you showed at the audio show on Wednesday.
Yes, it is.
You've not changed your mind with anybody.
I haven't changed my mind. I've resisted the urge, and it is an urge, to put
Clark
Jack Taylor in.
Clark
is available. This is it. Walton's making great progress. Obviously, too soon for Walton, but he's making good progress. Clark is fit and available. Jack Taylor is the boy wonder and that should be playing, but he's not. So that is my 11, Matt. Yeah. With what you've seen there, what you've heard from McKenna, would you be making any changes? Was Clark be coming straight back in for you? Would the boy wonder he playing midfield? What are you saying?
No, after the superb display of last week, you've got to keep the same side. Barring any injuries, of course, or knocks or niggles or whatever, you might have to bring somebody in. It'd be a risk to play Clark. I think he's only done 20 minutes against Bristol Rovers. And then there was a bit of a question mark over him. And then, is he fit enough to start? We don't really know. There's a question mark over him. So, Donatian is the one, I think. And at the moment, it's Longo Morsey, isn't it? I can't see where Taylor gets in the moment.
No, that's absolute truth. John B says McKenna versus Ainsworth is apparently 1-1. That'd be a great little stat to look up. Like, how many managers have actually not registered a defeat to McKenna? I can't imagine there's that many.
There's not that many, is there? No, you're right.
You know, or any managers that haven't got McKenna winning the head-to-head.
Yeah. No, I can't think of one.
Like 1-1 seems pretty good, right?
They beat us in the fog game, didn't they, Oxford? But we had already beaten them the Boxing Day, didn't we? The 3-0. Yeah, they can't be. It might be. I'll tell you, it is Schumacher.
Is that the manager?
I reckon it's Schumacher. Yeah.
Not counting cups, obviously, because when you get a cup team like Burnley, you expect to eventually lose. But
I'd go Schumacher, I think.
Would you play Clark?
No. I would still keep Genoy. As I said earlier, he's only done something like 20 minutes. So someone to bring off. Look, the bench is so important, isn't it? What is it? 9 subs. You can make 5. You get to like the hour mark, 65 minutes, and maybe you can bring him on there. I think they'll treat him with kid gloves. I think McKenna's quite conservative with these things. They're not going to throw you in off the back of an injury. That said, of course, against the odds, Broadhead and Luongo played. So maybe I'm talking nonsense, but I can't see it off the back of an Achilles. That's a funny injury, that long-term injury, that, isn't it?
Still being managed. I think I read in the write-up of the presser.
It takes a long while to heal. Yeah,
it does. Just interesting that he sort of mentioned it. I mean, he didn't have to freely give up the information, does he? It's not like the NFL where injuries have to be sort of declared in the run-up. You could have kept
injury list. Yeah,
I suppose the only way you'd mention it is by throwing the spanner in the works of maybe you put a little bit of doubt in the thinking of the opposition as they isn't it?
He doesn't say anything by accident, I think, McKenna. I think he's so considered in what he says. You know, everything is very well thought out with him, I think.
Mike D's got a good one. Not a good one because it's a rubbish stat, but Mark Kennedy at Lincoln.
Yes,
very true.
Right.
We've all got kryptonite, right? So yeah, even the godlike figure that McKenna is, you know, Mark Kennedy, Schumacher. But yeah, so 1-1. That's pretty respectable for Ainsworth. That being head to head with our gaffer. On to score prediction as we sort of close and round ourselves up. This is my score prediction. This is Rich's score prediction. Rich has gone 3-1 Town. I've gone 1-1. What says you, Mr. Phillips?
It worries me Rich has gone for a victory because he's gone 2 defeats in our first 2 games. And of course, we've got 6 points. I've been going 1-1 the whole time and we keep winning. So I'm going to say that. I said on the show Wednesday, on the audio show Wednesday, I don't think a draw at QPR is particularly a bad result off the back of 2 wins. You know, I think that'd be all right. So if we don't win tomorrow and we do take a point, so be it. And then on to Leeds next weekend. Is it Leeds?
Yeah, it is Leeds. Yeah, Leeds in a bit of disarray, obviously.
It's going to be an interesting test. I think when they started the season, QPR, and that got absolutely drummed 4-0 and they'd let a goal in after 30 seconds and 4-0 down at half time. And what a terrible way. I mean, to bounce back actually and go Cardiff to get the win. But there was QPR and Cardiff fans saying it was a bit of a poor game and both were like they would get relegated. It just was that QPR were less poor on the day than what Cardiff were. So let's see if we can get out the traps and like we did against Stoke, we will do that away from home. Might be a little bit more conservative, possibly away from Portman Road. If we can find that kind of middle third that we had against Sunderland, would probably expect a victory. But we did ride the luck at Sunderland, didn't we? The first goal was a fluke. Let's not get rid of it. You know, Leafs hit it. Is it Broadhead and gone in? And that's kind of, and we survived a few little scares. And then
well worked goal that.
And then and in
the training ground.
Then the Hurst goal was just fantastic. Great ball from Broadhead and what a finish. So I hope we've got enough in the tank to go there tomorrow and get 3. If we get 1, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, I'd probably go 1-1 as well. Off the back
I think at this stage of the season, I've said 1-1 because I view it as a trap game. Like everyone expects QPR. Yeah, everyone expects QPR to be a bottom 3 side, to be amongst one of the like a Wednesday, really struggling, down by Christmas almost. And those teams are really tricky and dangerous. Like, look, take QPR at Cardiff last week. You know, it's a really tricky game in that sense. It's their first home game. They're at the back of a win. They lost midweek to Norwich, but it was a much changed team in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah,
it's a sticky game for me, and I wouldn't be too upset with a point. But that said, if the season predictions are to be correct, Matt, and QPR are as bad as people say they're going to be, that would be a scoreline I look back in 8 months' time and I think, what a bad result that is.
Yeah, like you did with the Portsmouth one when we drew 2-2.
Yeah. Very different circumstances. That was a stench of managerial change in the air that night, and we let them off the hook.
Yeah, the poor old Cowleys. Still not bounced back yet, have they? They will. They will. It's a funny one, isn't it? Look, we're playing them early in the season. We've got Leeds early in the season. who knows, once Farker's got his feet under the table, if he stays that long, he might be able to turn it around there. So if we were to beat them next week, you might think that was a good time to play them. Listen, I hope we go there tomorrow and do what Rich said. 2-3-0, 3-1, and set another marker. I mean, that would be a real statement, wouldn't it, to actually get 3 points tomorrow?
It would.
Top of the table after 3 matches. Probably again. I think even the most truest blue fans with their blue tinted spectacles would say 9 points from 3 games. None would have expected that. So if we can do it, fantastic. But I think if we could avoid defeat and even just have 7 from the first 3, that's still promotion form, isn't it?
If you do win tomorrow, you run the possibility of going into the international weekend with 12 out of 15 points, but which is which any Town fan back when we did the fixture reveal show would have bitten your hand off, because Cardiff obviously beaten last week by QPR. We don't know how they're going to go for the next couple of weeks, but you could say maybe you beat Cardiff, maybe you don't beat Leeds, maybe you beat Leeds, don't beat Cardiff, whatever. But the chance to go into the international weekend, the first one of the campaign, with 12 out of 15 would be phenomenal.
Yeah, that would be really would be phenomenal. Listen, I sat on the show here, and Rich did as well, and thought, well, we'll probably be top 8, but once the season starts and you start the talking stops and you put in the performances, you can't argue with the results at the end of the day. So it's Leeds, Cardiff back to back, isn't it, Bournemouth Road?
It is. It's Leeds, and it's Cardiff, then it's the international weekend,
and then it's that,
of the campaign. So
then you're not far off October, and then everyone starts looking at the Christmas campaign. Yeah, the season's almost over.
All right, good Lord, you are a negative man.
End it now, champions.
It's in our hands from this point on. All right, it's in our hands. Yeah. Anything else before we go?
No, not at all. Everyone have a great time tomorrow. If you're travelling to London, look after yourselves. Sing loud. I mean, the noise at Sunderland was fantastic. And the luxury of watching Alex Griffin's shows back, where you're actually in the crowd with them, brilliant. I just hope we can get those 3 points. Great, stay at the top of the table. Love it.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Talking Town, the final look ahead to QPR Club 1878, the unofficial start to the weekend. That man there is the man from Chelmsford. I am the Gov. Hit the like button, target 100. If you're new here, subscribe. This is the fan platform that gives the fans the chance to have their say unfiltered, live, uncensored. Whether you're making a comment in the live chat, hitting the link, or leaving a comment watching on catch up. But until tomorrow at the full-time whistle, come on, you Blues. You make me smile when I think of you.